Hey mathematicians, it's JP from Geeky Teachy. Today we're going to be using standard algorithm division to divide a 4-digit dividend by a 1-digit divisor. So we're going to be dividing 6,615 divided by 7. So before we begin, we need to do a few things. We're going to need to list our multiples of 7. So notice as I'm listing my multiples, I'm still lining them up by place value. My 1s are in the 1s place, my 10s are in the 10s place. And then I also am going to want to write down my steps for long division. So I like to use the does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers regularly. So I'm going to divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down, and finally I'm going to repeat those steps. So I'm going to want to start in my largest place value. So I'm going to start in this thousands place. And my first step is to divide. So I need to see how many times can 7 divide into 6. Well, if I check my list of multiples, I can't divide 7 into 6. So I'm going to need to put a 0 up top in my quotient. My next step is to multiply. So I'm going to multiply 7 times 0, which is 0. Then I'm going to subtract. 6 minus 0 is 6. After I subtract, I'm going to check. I need to check, is this remainder smaller than my divisor? If this number is smaller than the divisor, I am doing something correct. I didn't miss a multiple. I can move on to the next step. If this number is larger, I need to go back and check my work. Next, I can bring down my next place value. So I'm going to bring down this 6 from the hundreds. And now my new dividend is 66. So when I repeat my steps, I'm now dividing into 66. So I need to ask myself, how many times can 7 divide into 66? Well, when looking at my multiples, I want to try and get as close to this 66 without going over. So if I look, 63, I can get in 9 times. If I go to 10, that will take me to 70. It's too large. So I'm going to stay there at the 9th multiple. 9 times 7 is 63. Now that I've multiplied, I can subtract. 6 minus 3 is 3. 6 minus 6 is 0. And then I'm going to check. Is my remainder smaller than my divisor? If I answer yes, I can bring down my next digit. And my new dividend is 31. Now I'm going to repeat my steps. So I'm going to be dividing 7 into 31. So again, I'm going to look at my list of multiples and see how close I can get to 31 without going over. So 28 is pretty close. If I go to 35, it's larger than 31. So I can't do 35. I'm going to have to stay at 28, which is the 4th multiple. So I'm going to put a 4 in my quotient. 4 times 7 is 28. So I'm going to subtract 28. 1 minus 8 I can't do. I'll have to borrow, making that an 11. 11 minus 8 is 3. 2 minus 2 is 0. Gonna check, is 3 smaller than 7? Yes. And then I can bring down my last digit. And my final dividend is 35. So repeating my steps now. Division, 7 divided into 35. That's exactly 5 times. I'm gonna put 5 in my quotient. 5 times 7 is 35. 5 minus 5 is 0. 3 minus 3 is 0. So I have no remainder, making my quotient 945.